Says the holiday's quite like family.
I wasn't expecting you for another day or two. Your room's upstairs.
But the liquor's in the dining room.
Alrighty, so it appears your girl Monique wants, I guess, her fans, her allies, black people to boycott Netflix. I'll start off by saying first, if you think you're worth something, you should go for it. Absolutely, you do what you gotta do. But in this situation, I think Monique ask is a little. I think this is one thing I don't understand about the whole situation with people who want to be rebels and they want to disrupt the system and they want to boycott and make some noise. That's all fine and dandy, we should do that. But there's a flip side to that. And it seems that we don't understand when that flip side comes to our door. For example, the whole situation with Kaepernick. The moment I see him protesting and doing that, I'm like, I'm talking about from day one. I'm like, this dude don't want to play football no more. Like, that was my mindset. It's like, he wants to be an activist. Everybody has their cards, right? You talk about people playing the black card, women playing the women card, gays playing that card. White America has a card too, and it's called the Patriot card. And that's the one thing that if you do that, piss them off, they're gonna turn off from you. So I'm like, that's something you should already know, that if you do that, you're gonna lose some dollars. You're gonna be looked at as a bad guy. You'd even look at anybody. When Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam, he lost that bag. He was broke. He went against the grain of the system, and he had no more love. The only way he was able to support himself is because he did those speeches and things like that in interviews with white media, right? So I say that to say is like when a person goes against the grain and boycotts, which you should do, but there's a flip side to it, and I don't think we comprehend that. Monique came at Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah, the honorary white woman, Oprah, and she thinks that she's gonna get love in the industry. Now, I think that Netflix is different because they're not intact with Hollywood, and they're actually competing with Hollywood. We saw that over the Christmas break with this. I guess I don't know if it was successful or not, but with the movie Bright, and I'll talk about that in a different video. Was Bright that dim? But they're kind of their competitors, and Netflix has an opportunity to do something different. So I don't understand, like, Netflix is the flip side. Netflix is the streaming service, the title of the music industry. So it's like her going at them after she's already pretty much been kicked out of Hollywood. I don't know how that's going to work for her career. I do believe her ask is too big. A lot of black folks don't have cable. They've cut their cords. They're in Hulu, Netflix, Sling TV, stuff like that. So for you to ask people who don't even have cable to get rid of Netflix, that's a big ass ask. And a lot of people, when they go to their employer and they feel like they're not getting what they deserve, they either quit or, they stay and they, deal with it. Like, they can't ask for a boycott for everybody to support them. And it's weird with Hollywood that y'all can do that. Like, if y'all don't feel like y'all get what y'all deserve, right? For example, right now, let's say the running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I blame him for the disruption and the silliness that was going on this season. Not just him, but it was a big ass circus over there. But he started talking like a day before the playoff game, I might retire, and all those other dumb shit that you shouldn't even do in that situation. But he was looking out for that bag for himself, which is like his right to do so. But as a team, that was a stupid thing to do. But it'd be funny if this man said, "Well, I want y'all to boycott the NFL because I think I'm worth more than $15 million for 2 years," which is what he turned down. He can't come to the fans and be like, "Yo, boycott this team and this game because I'm not getting what I want." Now, he can position himself and put himself in a situation where he say, "I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna walk away," or whatever. But that's just saying, like, everybody's fighting for that bag and what they think they're worth. Like, you can do that. I don't care who it is. But the flip side is, motherfuckers might not think you're worth that. And the reality is, a running back lifespan is short. Now, he's the best running back in the league right now. Will he get that? Does he deserve that? Should he be the most paid? That's all true, but you could ask for things, but you might not get it. And it seems like Monique is not getting what she asked for. Now, that number, it does seem low. And I'm not saying based on what she tried to compare herself to, which is what we got to watch out for, black men, because I can already see the future videos from feminists, black feminists, trying to, like, when there's regular conversations with black men and black women, black men are broke, they ain't got no money, we make more than them, blah, blah, blah. Even though the data does not say that. But then they're going to look at this situation and use it as Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, 20 mil, and Amy Schumer, 11 mil, and then the black woman at the bottom, and they only offer her 500,000, which again I think is a lowball number, but that's what Netflix thinks she's worth. Like, it's just that simple. They think she's worth that. If people saying because she won an Oscar, she should ever get that back automatically, that's not true. A lot of people get Oscars and their career falls off. The chick from Titanic, what did she do after that? Halle Berry got her Oscar. She's fell off, right? She did the same goddamn movie twice, The Call and Kidnapped. It was the same goddamn movie. She just played different roles in the movie. Her career is over as far as getting big blockbusters and all that. Getting an Oscar does not guarantee you get that bag. It just doesn't. Getting multiple Oscars probably does, but getting one, because you're overhyped that time and that year, people will fall back. Now, one thing that New Monique did, and she played the gender race card thing, whatever, right? The white woman's making more money than me. Two black men are making more money than me. But the funny thing is right now, Tiffany Haddish had a hot year, right? She's popping right now in comedy and movies. Like, this is her year, right? Whatever, Black Girls Rock or whatever y'all be saying. Netflix would not offer her that same deal she offered Monique. I don't think she'd get the 20, 30 million or whatever. I mean, the 20 million that Chris and Chappelle got. But I think she probably could pull a 8 or a 9. And she's new. And I'm saying just based off the hype of her and her popularity. A lot of people like her. She's a cross audience. She's not just with the black audience. She has a bigger audience because of the movie she just did. And her comedy special. Now, I don't think she's funny. I don't really find a lot of female comedians funny anyways. And I've been thinking about that a lot. Just thinking about like how when we gender things, like what we did with the Ghostbusters, I had no interest in seeing that. And it's weird because with black people, it's like, oh, we need to go support because Leslie Jones is in the movie. And like, I'm not a fan of Leslie Jones. I don't think she's funny either. Or I see that Taraji P's new movie didn't do too well. And I'm like, well, I had no interest in watching that shit. Just like I had no interest in watching the white version of it, Atomic Bomb with Charlize Theron. And I've been thinking about that a lot though, because that is a problem, because when we don't go support those movies and we don't cape for them, it's held against us. I'm talking about black men in particular. Now, an example would be though, where I differ on it is like, say, I wouldn't go see Wonder Woman, especially the way they promoted it in the media and all that other stuff, on my own. I would not go to the theater to see that shit. But if I had a daughter, if I had my nieces for the weekend, would I take them to go see it? Absolutely. So it's like that's how those movies are. If you market it that way, I'm going to take it that way, and I'm probably not going to go see a movie in theaters. But, and I was saying all that just to make the point that it's not a lot of female comedians that I would go pay to go see. Like, I've seen Chappelle, I've seen Chris Rock live, and that's like, on that level, I don't know any female comedians that if they came to my city, like Monique was just here in my city like a month ago. The little chick that be on Instagram that was naked with her son, she was just here like a couple weeks ago. I don't think she's funny either. Like, and that's like a cheap $20 ticket, not like Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, or they like $100 tickets or $50 tickets. I had no desire to go down there and see her because I just don't think she's funny. And does that have an impact on female comedians and stuff like that and movies and whatnot? Yeah, but it's like on the flip side, it's hard to make that argument when a person is popping and they're hot. They have hype, and that's the funny thing about this whole situation with Hollywood is like a lot of this shit is like hype, and it's not based on tangibles. Like, they know the numbers of what can be done, but I'm saying it's not like the military where it's like, well, you got this rank, so you get this pay grade, and blah, 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 blah. A lot of that shit is about hype. I'm gonna talk about a situation that happened with Marky Mark and the chick with him in a different video. I was gonna connect these videos, but I'm gonna separate them because I wanted to focus on Monique's situation, because I know it's gonna be different how it's taken. Because you see some of these moist-ass feminist white men who are like, oh, I made this much, so I'm not going to do the movie unless my co-star makes this much, or whatever. And you see how Marky Mark, just because he made $1 million more or whatever than his co-star, who was dumb and said she would do it for free and didn't negotiate, he ended up donating the money to the Time's Up movement or whatever that bullshit is. But I'm saying, like, I think that this light is going to be put on black men, and now black men are going to be forced with, you know, will you do this? And I know a lot of these liberal Hollywood dudes might do that. I know all these situations that happen in the media and pop culture, they are taken personal. They're used as examples, as empirical evidence. So we really got to watch these things. I remember when, and I, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Breakfast Club interview where Jay Farrell was on, and he was talking about how he did that one skit where he was paying homage to all the black greats. Like, you know, he was doing all their voices, Eddie, and all this other stuff. And out of nowhere, I think Charlamagne bitch ass said, because someone called him and like, yo, why didn't you do XYZ? And he was like, well, it wasn't a thought. Like, I was paying respect to the men of the craft. And that's just weird when black men get on, when black men get an inch, his sister's right there behind him, like, where's ours? Like, goddamn, like, can I get mine? Can I get some brothers in first? Or whatever. And it's like, that's a problem. Like, they assume or expect black men to turn around and open the door for them, even though, being that they're a female and they're a protected class, they do get some bones from the system that black men don't get, and they might have to correct it on in their own lane. But in that situation, he said that Charlamagne said it was Leslie Jones, right? And I'm thinking, like, Leslie Jones, like, she just got on, and the funny thing is, Chris Rock put her on a black man. He's the one that made the call to get her on Saturday Night Live. He asked her, no, she wanted to do it sooner, and he told her, no, you're not ready yet. And then when he thought she was ready, he put her on. And she had her little year that wasn't that big. She did her stand-up. She did Saturday Night Live. And then she did the Ghostbusters, right? That was her year. And she's doing the commercials and all other stuff. But Chris Rock put her on. Then Jay Farrell said that he was one of the people that were vocal about getting black women on Saturday Night Live, because they had that thing where they were like 80 years and they've only had like 2 black female hosts and all other nonsense. He was vocal in doing that. So this is a guy who was the advocate for her and other black women at Saturday Night Live, but she's calling him talking about, well, why didn't you put me in your skit? And first of all, you don't match up. You shouldn't be in the skit with those listing those names. You're not on that level. I don't think sisters be understanding that. I'm not in the realm of, like, it's weird. It's like, I almost think of it as like the WNBA, NBA, right? Like, yeah, you could be great in the NBA, but you're not great when you compete against the men. And it's just that simple. Monique is quote unquote a legend. She did Queens of Comedy. I didn't find none of that shit funny. I don't really like Simone, whatever her name is. It's not a lot of female comedians I can name on top of my hand that I would pay money to go see them at a concert or the arena or the show. And they don't pull in those type of dollars like the men do. But again, she can ask for what she wants to ask for, but you understand that you can also be told no. I think her ask is too much. She's asking for... No, I mean, I'm not thinking her ask is too much. She can ask for whatever she wants for. That's her right. I'm saying asking black people to boycott Netflix when you know that Negroes don't got no money in the first place, and then most Americans in general have cut the cords and they're depending on streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO Go, what have you. I'm just looking at this angle from the situation, how it's going to play out, because I was going to talk about that Grapevine shit too, because they're probably going to talk about this eventually, and I already can see Saran being on the episode and the patriarchy paying the black men more. But every other time in conversation we have about black men and black women on the non-celebrity level, oh, we're just too awesome and we make $15 an hour and we're Oprah and black men just don't have any money. But then they're going to scrap all that and then go to celebrity in Hollywood, which you can't base things off of their system because their structure is based off of hype and not real tangibles. It's not a set say, well, you did this so you should make XYZ. Yes, there's gendered issues. Yes, there's racial issues. We already know that. That's not an argument. I'm saying that if Tiffany Haddish, though, were to get a deal from Netflix right now, she's gonna get more than Monique was offered because she's hot, because she's playing the game. I mean, I don't think she's hot as far as comedian. I think she's silly, goofy, but she's popping right now. That's what I mean. And she could pull in the bag right now. She could probably get $5 million right now, if she has the material though, right? Because a lot of people don't even have material. Like that's the thing too. Like Cardi B's hype right now. I think she's trash as well, but like, does she have the material to even do an album right now? Like she keep putting out singles and then riding that wave, and she's doing that. But if she don't put a CD album out soon, she's gonna fall off. But the question is, can she handle that right now? Does she have enough material for that? I'm sure Monique has. She's a veteran. She has the material to do it. But I'm saying Tiffany Haddish might not have that yet. But if she did, I guarantee you her bag will be bigger than what Monique. And Monique is far more experienced, probably funnier than Tiffany Haddish. But the other flip side is Monique went against the grain. She came at Oprah, who's the honorary white woman, the queen of media. She came at Tyler Perry, who 1 year made more money in Hollywood than any other director and actor combined, because he did the same 7 movie 10 times in 7 years or some dumb shit like that, right? Tyler Perry made more money in 7 years than Spike Lee did in 20 years. How about that? Think about that shit. Spike Lee has his coonery and buffoonery moments too, but he's a far better director. I don't know about actor. They both trash me, but I would say Tyler Perry's a better actor than Spike Lee. But writing wise, that pen, absolutely Spike Lee's better. Behind the camera, Spike Lee's better. But he's made more money. Tyler Perry's made more money in 7 years than Spike Lee has made in his whole career. So again, it's like, it's not always about your resume. It's not always about your receipts. Sometimes it's about, can you sell? And Tyler Perry, out of all things, I think his movies are trash, but he can sell, and he cuts corners. And this dude, his writers wanted to form a union, and he fired them all and said, "I'll write." And you can see that in his work. That's why his work sucks, because you can't wear all those hats. And when it comes to movie making, but he can sell tickets, he can make movies, and he doesn't have to fix anything because people go by and see his shit, despite its low quality, and they love it, and they defend him to the death. But so just because Monique has Oscars doesn't mean she should guarantee a certain bag, right? That just doesn't mean that. And at the end of the day, they offer her what they think she's worth. I do think she's worth more than 500,000. But her ask of black people, I don't know about that. Bringing in gender and race, the only thing I don't know about that is that I guarantee you, if Tiffany Haddish was to get a deal from Netflix, her bag would be bigger than Monique's. Not like Dave or anybody, because she's too new. This is like her first year of being popping. But companies could capitalize off that because she's getting so much representation right now in the media. Businesses could say, like, oh, even if she's not even good, we can still pull in such and such and such just because of that. We know that Amy Schumer is trash. Like, her comedy sucks. It's garbage. Netflix messed with the rating system because of her and all that. And people were going down giving her bad reviews and this and all this stuff, right? I absolutely believe that she's overhyped too, but she's a white woman. She was the great white hype. The machine got behind her, and they pushed her, right? So her numbers were inflated, but because they pushed her, she was able to pull in that 11 or 12, 13 million she got. Did she deserve it? From what I see of her reviews, probably not. But she did have a good summer, and that's why she got that bag. Monique can't compare herself to these people because Monique has Went Against the Grain. Monique came at the biggest black people in Hollywood, and I think Netflix knows that, and people in Hollywood know that. So they're like, well, a lot of black people love Tyler Perry. A lot of black people love Lee Daniels and Oprah. And if she's coming at them, people are taking sides, and Monique's not going to win that battle. Now, on a basic level, if Monique wasn't paid what she should have been paid, if they were asking her to do shit for free, what they did with Precious, which I did not watch either. I watched like 3 minutes of the movie and I couldn't watch it. She should fight for whatever she wants, and I'm not even having an issue with that. I'm saying, you opened your mouth and you went against the grain, you're going to have to pay for that shit. And I don't understand why we don't understand that. Like, it's not right, it's wrong, it's not fair, all that shit you can say. But she did that shit, and she's reaping her marketability and her value is lower based on that, not her talent. based on these companies know she done messed up. Everybody's fighting for bags, whether it's NFL players, basketball players, people in Hollywood. Do that, but don't put that shit on the fans, though. That's the part that's bothering me. Don't put that on people that barely making it as it is now. That's just my thoughts, but I think we got to watch out for how this is going to affect black male-female relationships, how the feminists are going to use this situation to rape and pillage and evil black patriarchy that we don't have because Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. Think about how many other black men in the industry, though, who will never pull, like, and who are, Eddie Griffin, Mike Epps, all these guys are in there, and they've had long careers and whatnot. They might not have had the movies and stuff. Like, Dave Chappelle sucks at movies, and Chris Rock movies suck too, but their comedies are okay. I think Dave Chappelle's better than Chris. But there's a lot of black men actors in there who will never get that bag. So it's like, don't just cherry pick these two unicorns and make that the standard. There's a shitload of black comedians who got resumes, who are funny, and they're not gonna pull in what Chris Rock. Think about it. Will Smith got $20 million for Wild Wild West, right? Why? Because at the time he had the hype, and he could pull that money in. He lost that hype. It's just he got traded in for the younger model. He's not that guy anymore. That's just what it is. He can't pull $20 million in for a movie no more. He doesn't have that clout behind his name. And that happens in Hollywood with people that they like. Halle Berry can't get the role she used to get anymore. Like, there's a time, I mean, you can call it ageism or whatever. I don't think it's that. I just think they write with you until they can get everything out of you, and then after you can't offer them no more, after people have moved on, they fall back on you. But Monique she's not getting $10 million doing a Netflix special when she already came at Hollywood. So it's almost like they're like, you went to the competitor and they said no, and now you're coming to us. So, and they know that the other competitor said no, though. Like, right? They know that happened because they seen it before the world. They see her and her moist-ass henpecked husband doing YouTube videos, calling people out. She's being disruptive. Again, she's doing what she's supposed to do for herself. I'm not disputing her speaking out and all that other stuff, but why don't we comprehend when you speak out? There's consequences to doing that shit. I'm back. I was just reading some of the comments from the Baller Alert had posted this. This to get the feedback from what the people are saying, because there's mixed reviews all over the spot and people have different opinions, obviously. Most people are saying she has a point, but they're not canceling Netflix. And that's the argument I'm making. Her ask of the people to boycott what seems to be a lot of people's last option is just too big of an ask. I also agree that she should be worth more than $500,000, but I don't think people are taking into account that this is Monique, who trashed Oprah, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry, who are all powerful in Hollywood, and white media knows that. And black people are very unforgiving and forgiving at the same time. And Monique has her clique, she has her crew, she has her followers, but so does Lee Daniels, so does Oprah Winfrey, and so does Tyler Perry. And I don't think she can compete with them. But some of the comments on this shit was funny though. What were people saying? People saying, I wish she would have taken the offer I personally would have watched. Who knows, this may have been the offer you need to open the door for your platform to get bigger. Another dude says, first of all, she's not as popular or as any of them people. Someone replied, said, she ain't as funny as them either. She didn't even do good when she came to Buffalo, nephew. Tommy was better than her, as she better take that $500,000. Nobody else knocking at her door. So, like I said, she did just come to my city like a month ago, and I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it. That chick Jess, whatever her name is, with the lace fronts all the time, she was just here last week too. Again, I have no desire to see either one of them. People are saying, bye Monique, still a moronic hothead, I never liked her. This lady right here says, and you can play the violin music when you listen to this part. I like you, Monique, but I actually pay $10 a month for Netflix. My daughter is away at college. She watches Netflix. My autistic son watches it every day. My dog Theo listens to Netflix, and Netflix is easy to spell. I don't know what that means. And I'm left-handed, and I love tacos, so I think you get it, Monique. It's a no for me. Sorry. This chick says, it's funny how these celebs want us to boycott when it affects them and their money, but are quiet as a mice pissing on cotton when it comes to everyday bigotry and the rest of us experience. I don't recall her saying shit about police brutality or the hundreds of other atrocities that happen in our community. And I'll say this, she has been vocal on LBGT or whatever that shit is called, and that's my beef with her. If black people say, you know what, we good, we don't disrespect, hate, none of that stuff with the gay community, but we wish you stop trying to push that shit in our face and tell us to accept it. And she can accept that. She goes further. She goes above and beyond. And that's probably one of the reasons why I can't mess with her. Like, if black people are telling you no, leave them alone. Stop trying to put that shit in their face. And that's one thing that she's been really an advocate for since she got blackballed. And I think that's actually the movie that she did with Isaiah Washington was about some LBGT stuff. But she has been vocal when it comes to them. I don't know about police brutality and other stuff, but she has been vocal about that. She was offended because less because she hasn't done anything in years. At one point, Dave Chappelle was the biggest comedian in the country. Actually wanted to see his special, and who the hell's asking for Monique's special? Now, some people disagree. They think because she's popping right now and because she's been talking shit about Oprah Lee James and all those other people that she has something to say. Apparently, a lot of people don't want to see that though. So it's like it's a mix. And the feedback I'm getting is like a lot of people think like, yo, she's doing too much. It's not like people are more upset that she framed it the way she framed it, right? It's like how Jay-Z, when he was trying to push Tidal in a time where Google and Spotify were giving, like Google gives music away for free on YouTube and all other shit, and Vivo, whatever that shit is called. But Jay-Z invoked civil rights issues to get black people to go sign up for his $20 a month service. And I'm like, dog, you should have just promoted the service. Don't put some social justice shit into it, because that's just disrespectful to me and a turn off to a lot of people. I support the concept and all that, the title and the artist getting more of the bag and cutting out the middleman. But when you invoked all these crackers trying to put me out the business and this and that, I'm like, but your title staff is like 95% white, right? How is it that Jay-Z got a pass for that, but you know, Shea Moisture didn't? That's weird, right? And he's marketing his shit as a black company. Oh. And then what Jay-Z did to the Brooklyn Nets, he pretty much was the black face of the company, even though he owned like 1/10 of an inch of a percent. And he helped those Russian billionaires come in and gentrify Brooklyn. It is what it is. But I don't like when celebrities invoke social justice shit to get what they want personally. Same thing with Will and Jada. Like, yo, we're boycotting the Oscars. Bitch, y'all wasn't invited to the Oscars. How you boycotting some shit that you wasn't even invited to? Voice your grievances. Your Magic Man didn't get picked for that movie Concussion, which I'm actually going to watch now. For some reason, I didn't want to watch it in the Inception, but now I actually am interested in seeing what it's about. But that's just my point. I think Monique's wording was wrong. She's saying she's doing it with the argument that it's gender bias and that it's racial bias, but a white woman and a black man both got paid. You didn't. So it's not your race or your gender that made them lowball you. It's you, Monique. It's your personality. It's your attitude. It's you being a rebel and being rebellious and going against the system. All that shit is good, but it has a cost. And I don't get why folks don't want to acknowledge that. Yes, she's being blackballed. And yes, Netflix is capitalizing off of her being blackballed. Her stock is low right now. Despite what anybody compares her to, Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle took away all his time and this and that. All that shit could be true. But they've already proven that they're worth what they put out there. Amy Schumer, not so much, but she still has a big fan base because she's a white woman. It is what it is. That's just my video. This shit is about to get real, right? These situations are going to be, because the black men who ain't caping for this shit are going to be attacked. Even though I see way more black women, most of the comments I read from black women who are like, nah, girl, good, bye, we good, we're not feeling that. But it's still going to be blamed black men because we're not going to hop on the bandwagon and are black men going to be asked like these white male actors have taken pay cuts and donating money when brothers ain't even eating that much? Like, it's a select few of people who are on. Like, Kevin Hart is one of the 5. The Rock, I don't know what he is. He's Samoan, Samoan, whatever, Hawaiian, Samoan, I don't know, but he's a top dollar paid actor right now. 10 years from now, he might not be. Once upon a time, Vin Diesel was that dude. He's not that guy right now. So this shit is weird because Hollywood is not structured with legit. Like, this shit is, a lot of this shit is hype. And sometimes the machine gets behind people and they push people, i.e. Amy Schumer. Sometimes people have the streets on their back like Dave Chappelle. And they just, no matter what happens, people going to want him to come back and they're going to love him. A lot of people don't like I've been in Facebook groups where they don't like Dave Chappelle's comedy. And one thing I noticed about Dave Chappelle and why, especially when he came out and he went and come at Trump, and I think he was kind of smart when the way he did it. The first special, he was like, give him a chance, and he took a little backlash for that. But then the second special, he came at Trump supporters, which that could backfire for Trump winning the next election. But I think he was smart when he did that. But one thing I know about Dave Chappelle is I think the reason why a lot of black people prefer Kevin Hart, even though I don't think Kevin Hart is funny at all, is because the black people didn't create Dave Chappelle. Like, he didn't come up off of black comedic spaces, whatever. Like the way that Kevin Hart did. Like, Kevin Hart had to go through the grind and come through black people, and then white people picked him off and it's like, yo, he's ours now. Dave Chappelle from the get-go had a form of comedy that appealed to a bigger and broader audience than black folks. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of black folks who don't like Dave Chappelle, I think deep down, that's one of the reasons why they're not feeling him as much. When you come through black people, they feel a little bit of ownership. They feel like they can demand a little bit more of you. When you don't, I don't know if they feel that way. But anyways, I got another clip to do real quick after this to end.